All right, gentlemen, that was the third and final round of questions, and now we're going to go to, you have 3 minutes to summarize your candidacy. So we're going to give you 3 minutes. Kind of your closing statement, 3 minutes.
All right, again, thank you. First of all, as I close, I want to mention this, that I am married to the former Karen McGuff. We have 6 children between us, and 15 grandchildren, and 3 great-grandchildren, whom I'm proud of, each and every one of them. I sat here and listened, and I'm sitting here looking, and I'm sitting here thinking, you know, this race is not about any of us at this table, believe that or not. This race is about the citizens of St. Mary Parish. The citizens of St. Mary Parish deserve the very best. One of the things that we talked a little bit about, and I've heard it mentioned several times, experience. Nobody at this table has more law enforcement experience than I do. My good friend Booth talks about managing budgets and so forth and so on. I was the chief of police at Chittamauga Police Department. I know all about managing budgets. I had to manage a budget for 7 years. The buck stopped here, if you will. I was totally responsible. I'm the only candidate sitting at this table right now who has 40+ years of experience. I'm the only candidate sitting at this table right now who held a state, tribal, and federal commission all at the same time. I was involved in all 3 court systems. A lot of people say tribal. Yes, the tribe has their own court system. They have a judge. They can put you in jail, just like state and federal do. My last big case I had was in federal court and went on for several days. So I'm familiar with all of the different systems, if you will, that we have around us right now. I think, again, it goes back to experience. You have to have experience. Listen, a new person can come and they can say they did this and did that, or whatever the case may be. We all know how people like to try sometimes to get out of work. If you have the experience, you can see over all of that. You can see where the results need to come from. And you can see if the results are actually coming the way they're supposed to. I think that at the sheriff's office right now, we have an excellent staff of employees. I think that what we need to do is have an excellent leadership. I offer to you my 40+ years of experience, and I will bring that back to the sheriff's office. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Grisaffi?
This may be my last good opportunity to sell myself, so I appreciate that. First of all, I listened to all these candidates at the beginning, give me that great resume of law enforcement experience. But if you paid attention, the next question came back, what does it take to be a sheriff? It was only about communication and hard work and talking to the people. Nobody said you needed law enforcement experience. The fact of the matter is, 6 years as the appointing authority of the city of Morgan City, I handle all law enforcement. We handle a police chief to run the day-to-day. But what the sheriff department needs is a communicator that can get up there and get the job done. You ever heard of a pie chart? When I became the mayor, people said, hey, you can't be the mayor, you never was a city council member. Well, I think I pulled that wrong. I show up to a fund balance that looked difficult, but I say, hey, let's simplify it, let's get a pie chart. Tell me where my revenues are coming from. Let's get another pie chart, tell me where my expenses are at. And then you work from there. So what happens is when I look at the sheriff department, they're borrowing $1.5 million to operate this year's budget with next year's money. You can't continue that. That started off with a couple $100,000. It continues to grow. It continues to grow. And when I looked at the last amended budget, we're going to lose $348,000 again. That was posted in July. That's not a good business practice. No accounting, no auditing firm is going to call that a good business practice. When you're the sheriff, the buck stops here. At least the city council has some oversight over the mayor. You have more people paying attention. You have to trust the guy in the seat. He's got the keys to the truck. He can do anything he wants. He's a top, not only law enforcement, but one of the most powerful positions in the parish. So I think you need experience. When you pay attention to the last 6 months, when you put somebody in a spot without the public, one man picks one guy, puts him in a spot. That could be good or bad. If he does a good job, you'll never get him out. I think over the last 6 months, nobody out here can say that that sheriff department is running at a top-notch level it deserves. You give me an opportunity to get 6 months head start, I'll show you a sheriff department that this parish has never seen. But when I become the sheriff, we're going to make some changes. We're going to talk to our employees. We're going to make sure we get things right. I agree with Mr. LeBeau, a top law enforcement chief deputy will work under me. I'll oversight, I'll represent the people. It's an elected position. I'm going to be the elected official that communicates to each and every department for you, and we're going to have a department that it hadn't seen. This department has been running the same play for 30 years. That's why you need a new coach, a new playbook, and I'm going to deliver. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Ansel?
I once again want to thank the Chamber for hosting this event, along with in attendance tonight, everyone here, especially my family as they travel this journey, as I work in public service. You know, it's quite easy to sit up here and make promises outside looking in when you really don't understand the issues that go along with law enforcement. You don't understand law enforcement and all those decisions associated with it. We are operating and projecting a small deficit in this budget year. But of course, we have applied for a loan, and we're going to be doing that at $1.2 million. It's not because of a $1.2 million shortfall, Mr. Grizafi. It's to ensure that you have a cash flow that's on hand in need of emergency that happens with this parish, so we can address it appropriately. Unfortunately, I can't forecast emergencies, natural disasters that occur in this parish, but I want to make sure that our parish, our agency, is prepared to deal with that. So, as your sheriff, I know the importance of having a sheriff that is a proven law enforcement professional. I believe the citizens need to look carefully at each candidate up here, and let's look to see what the platforms offer. I take pride in running a very positive campaign. I believe my experience as a proven law enforcement professional speaks for itself. I'm proud of my years of commitment to community, and have grown and worked to having the humbling opportunity to be your sheriff. I've said all along, I do not take lightly the confidence that has been placed in me. Being an experienced law enforcement professional, I understand the importance of your sheriff and having that experience. I believe it's important when the public contacts the sheriff with questions in regards to crime that has affected you or your family, that the sheriff understands these questions through experience and knows the answer to your question. Having this experience is critical, as the day-to-day decisions are made by these decisions. These decisions impact the community and our employees. You see, when decisions have to be made right now because of critical incidents, a sheriff cannot afford to pause, call someone, and get the answer when they don't possess that experience. Being involved in a number of critical incidents, including one where I was shot in the line of duty early in my career, I understand the importance of these decisions. I do not take them lightly. As your sheriff, I promise to continue the hard work and to be a sheriff that you can be proud of. On November 6th, I humbly ask for your vote. Go out and vote number 48, Sheriff Scott Ansel. May God bless you and the United States of America.
All right. Mr. LeBeau?
I'm going to work closely with the bookkeeper and squeeze every penny and dime we can to make sure that I can do the things I want to do program-wise. When I was working at the Sheriff's Department, I created 3 divisions at the Sheriff's Department: a dive team, a SWAT team, as well as the technology department. Those teams are still in existence today. What I intend to do is try to create 2 more, mainly one, because one does partially exist. The one that partially exists is working with juveniles. We have to get out and work with the juveniles, not just in the high schools and junior highs. We have to go to the elementary schools. We have to be there for the kids. And I want to write grants, which I've done before, to see if we can put on more school resource officers to where we can get out there and be in the schools with the kids where they're not so afraid of a policeman. If we can catch them at a younger age, maybe we can stop some of the things that's going on if they simply get to know the policeman and can talk to them. The next program that I want to introduce to the Sheriff's Department to help the citizens of the parish is called Triad. Triad is a program for the elderly of our parish. They're the most forgotten group that exists out there today, and a lot of them are struggling. Once it gets dark, most of them go inside their homes and lock themselves in. I want to go out there with a new division to work with the elderly to understand everything about safety, on how to prune your yard to make sure the law enforcement can actually see what's going on in your yard. We will teach you how to use a cell phone if you never learn how to use one. We're going to be out there to work with all the elderly of the parish and try to make sure that they continually get the support that they need, which is sorely lacking at this point. I ask you for your vote. My name is Lonnie LeBeau, and I'm number 50 on the ballot. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Thornton.
Folks, if you haven't listened to anything at all that was said tonight, up until this point, please, I beg you to listen to this. This election is not about promises and favors previous administrations and its personnel has made in the past. This election is not about smooth-talking politicians that continue to spread the same old false promises and deceptions that has been continuing to plague this parish for a number of years. Please don't be fooled by the smoke and mirrors again. This election is about you, the public, the citizens, St. Mary Parish, and your personal safety. Not about the politicians, not about anybody sitting at this table. It's time for someone to stand up and act, to solve the problems and not turn their back on you. It's time for someone to do the right thing to benefit the citizens of the parish, all the citizens. It's time for change. It's time to put a stop to status quo, do nothing politics in St. Mary Parish. With your help, your vote, we can untangle a web of non-productive leadership that has smothered our parish far too long. With your help, your vote, we can put our parish back on track with leadership that is of the people, for the people, and most importantly, all the people. I'm that change. I'm the change this parish needs. I am of the people. I'm one of you. Just a hard-working, honest resident of St. Mary Parish that has the knowledge and experience to do the right thing, that is, do my job. I'll provide the type of leadership in the Sheriff's Department that will be totally transparent and responsible to the people, all the people. I will be a hands-on, boots-on-the-ground leader that will work with the employees and every citizen in St. Mary Parish, all of them. I will not be intimidated. So please, think about this. I humbly ask for your vote and support November 6th, number 52, Carl Thornton for sheriff. I promise I'll do my best not to let you down. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for attending tonight's forum.